So in the light of this whole teacher and the student braiding his hair in class or whatever it was, situation, this inspired me to tell another story about another young lady. So here we go. So there's Dora. Dora is very severely sick. She has asthma, but her asthma is very serious. Like, it's not like, oh, you just need your pump. Like, she will get like really severe attacks where she will have to be at the hospital. And Dora comes from a family where the mom is a single mom with her brother, because the dad had already passed away, and they were involved in a church. So because of that, the mom kind of created, like, when you become part of something and you kind of create a little family community of people that will show up for you when you have certain things going on for yourself. So the mom connected with this older gentleman. He's probably, let's say, like around 60 or so. His name is Neve. Neve is also a married man with kids, right? So Dora had this like really severe attack where they had to call Neve to take her to the hospital. And Neve, obviously, as he seemed like the nice and caring and close to the family, he showed up and took them to the hospital. So she ended up getting better and went back home. So Neve was a little bit concerned. So on his way to a little event with him and his friend is Joe, who's a very creepy old man. They're in the car, and Neve is like, oh, let me just pass by to Dora's home to see how she's doing. And Neve is telling Joe that Dora is about to graduate high school, and he's hoping that Joe can help, because Joe is part of the college admin member. And Joe is like, yeah, I don't mind helping. So they pass by Dora's house, and Dora gets up to go serve Neve and his friend. While she got up, Neve was like looking at her sexually, and his friend noticed that he was staring at her body. So he just kind of smiled. So afterwards, Neve was telling the mom, like, oh, this is the friend that is going to somehow help her to get into college, and they just wanted to pass by so he could drop off half the rent money that she asked for earlier. And the mom is like, oh, thank you, I'm so grateful. So because of the relationship Dora saw Neve and the mom having, which was a friendly, like, oh, this is like a family friend that we call when there's situation, and he always shows up. So he created that kind of bond, like he's part of the family. So with a young naive girl that is not into, she wasn't even dating people, and I'm pretty sure probably didn't have a conversation with the parent about like being cautious with older gentlemen or just boy conversation in general. In her mind, this is Uncle Neve, right? What would Uncle Neve ever want from me? This is Uncle Neve. So while Neve and Joe are heading back to their event, Joe said to Neve, like, oh, I saw you looking at that girl. And Neve is like, what are you talking about? First he started denying it, and Joe was like, man, don't play with me. I saw you. I saw how you were clocking her. I saw how you were looking at her. And then Neve goes into, oh my God, you saw that? Yeah. He's like, I find her so sexy or whatever. This girl is like, what, 16, 17? So Joe is bragging to Neve that, he gets all these young girls because obviously he has access to young girls because he works in the admin system in the university. So he's like, maybe Dora also likes you, and, she's just probably, she doesn't know how to articulate that she likes you. You should probably get her alone and see what happens. So there's this weekend where Neve's wife was going out of town and was taking her children to visit her sister. So Neve saw this as an opportunity to get Dora alone. So she calls Dora, and Dora was at home with her brother, and they were just hanging out watching TV. So he calls Dora, and Dora is like, "Hey, Uncle Neve, what's going on?" And Neve is like, "I really need some help with household chores, and my wife is currently not around. If you don't mind coming by to please help me, I would really appreciate it." And Dora's like, "Yeah, I would do anything for you." Because, again, Dora is not thinking, when two people are not in the same mindset, that's what it is. Neve knows his intention. Dora knows, like, oh, this is Uncle Neve that we call for, like, when we need stuff to be done. So she said it in that sense. So she goes over to Neve's place. So when she gets there, Neve is obviously either a rookie in this behavior, and Joe is the influence that got in his head that this is the right behavior to go about. So he's very nervous about this, and he's like, "Oh, I need some help." So Dora goes to the kitchen. He's like, "I need you to wash the dishes or something." He was just making stuff up, really. So she goes in the kitchen and realizes there's no household chores or nothing to do in the house. The house was spotless. So she's like, "Uncle Neve, I don't see anything here." And Neve is like frantically moving around. He's like, "Okay, well, let's go to the living room." So Dora goes with him to the living room. They leave the kitchen and they go to the living room. And he's like, "Let me turn on the TV so you can watch something." And for whatever reason, the TV didn't come on. Because Neve is very nervous, he calls the cable company and he's going off on these people. Like, "I don't know why the TV's not working. Can you guys send somebody to come fix my TV?" and all that stuff. But for whatever reason, the TV somehow ends up working. So he turns on something that Dora could watch. But because, again, this is a new behavior that has been influenced by Joe, he excused himself and went to the bedroom and calls Joe. So he calls Joe, and Joe is like, "Yo, man, what's going on?" And Joe is like, and Neve is like, "Man, she's here, but I don't know what to do. I'm kind of nervous," and da-da-da. And Joe, being Joe, he stopped bragging, like, "If that was me, I would have been on second rounds by now. Da-da-da-da-da. You just need to give her a little something to loosen her up." And Joe's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, you just need to drug her, and then you can have your way with her if you just, And he gave Neve the direction and the type of cough syrup or something. I forgot the name of the drug to give to Dora so Dora could pass out. So Neve leaves the room and comes out to the living room and told Dora that he's going to run out real quick and just get her something to drink. And Dora is like, "Okay," just innocent, naive, just sitting there. "I'm at home with Uncle Neve." And he goes Neve goes to the pharmacy and buys the drugs. He comes back, he makes a smoothie and puts the drug in there. Because, again, he doesn't know what to do, he overdid it. So he goes and gives this thing to Dora, who's just sitting there in the living room just being a kid. And Dora drinks it up, even give him a compliment, like, "Oh, Uncle Neve, this smoothie is really good." And he's like, "Oh yeah, drink up. Because he knows his intention. The girl is just innocently just existing. So Dora finally passes out. He takes her to the room and rapes her. While he's done, since he no longer have use for her, he's done what he needed to do. He tries to wake her up